My wife posted on Facebook, "Some men just can't handle a strong woman." I commented, "True." Then I filed for legal separation and moved my business assets to a trust. Her strong woman act crumbled when the prenup clause activated. I, 45 male, run a custom metal fabrication business. It's all about precision, tolerances, and knowing how materials behave under pressure. For 8 years I thought my marriage was built the same way. I was wrong. It was built on a brand. My wife, Serafina, 38, Sarah to her 200,000 followers, is a lifestyle influencer. Her brand is #strong woman, boss babe, #unapologetic. She preaches financial independence while using a credit card linked to my business account. She talks about building her empire from the home office I built for her. The disconnect had been growing for a while. I'd come home smelling of welding flux and she'd be staging a photo about getting your hands dirty. It was a quiet, grinding hypocrisy. But I let it go. The end came not with a bang, but with a Facebook post on a Tuesday morning. I was at my shop reviewing blueprints when the notification popped up. It was a public post from Sarah. A photo of her looking thoughtfully out of a coffee shop window, with the caption, "It takes a powerful woman to build her own world. And it takes an even stronger one to know when a man is too weak to live in it. Some men just can't handle a strong woman." There it was, not a vague quote, a direct shot. She was publicly framing me as the anchor holding her back. My blood didn't boil. It ran cold. A surgical calm washed over me. The material had been stressed and it had fractured. Now I knew what to do. I looked at her post, the dozens of "Yes, Queen" comments already flooding in. I typed a one-word reply, "True." Then I put my phone on silent and got to work. First call, Leo, my lawyer, who drafted our prenup 8 years ago. "Leo, it's Mark. Activate the protocol. File for legal separation today. Are you sure?" "Never been more sure," I said. "She made it public. I'm making it legal." Second call, my financial advisor. We had a contingency plan, a framework I hoped I'd never use. The prenup was ironclad. My business, founded before I met her, was separate property. A key clause, the status quo clause, stated that upon a legal separation filing, all non-contractual financial support would immediately cease. No allowance, no credit cards, no funding for the #strong woman brand. For the next 2 hours, I dismantled our life with cold precision. The trust. With my advisor, I moved the bulk of my company's liquid assets into the pre-designated irrevocable trust. This was a legal move, outlined in the prenup, to protect the business and my employees from divorce fallout. Credit cards, logged into my accounts. Serafina's card was listed under authorized user. Click, remove user. Done. Her fuel card tied to the same account. Gone. Bank transfers, the recurring monthly transfer to her personal account. Cancelled, effective immediately. Subscriptions, all the shared streaming services in my name. Logged out all devices, changed passwords. This wasn't revenge. It was a logical execution of the new reality she had created. She wanted the world to see her as a self-made woman held back by a weak man. Okay, I was just removing the scaffolding that was holding her self-made facade up. I went home that evening. She was in her office, high on the validation from her post. She came downstairs around 8 p.m., glowing. "Hey," she said, breezy. "Jenna and I are thinking of doing a weekend spa retreat to recharge our creative batteries." "Okay," I said, not looking up from my laptop. "So, I was thinking of booking the platinum package." She trailed off, waiting for me to give the nod, to tell her I'd cover it. I just looked at her. A flicker of confusion crossed her face. "What?" she asked, an edge to her voice. "Is there a problem?" "No problem at all, Serafina," I said, using her full name. "You should do whatever you feel is best for your brand." She stared, unsettled. She knew something was off, but her narcissism couldn't connect it to her own actions. She went back to her office. The legal papers would be served tomorrow. The scaffolding was down. I was just waiting for her to lean on it. Update 1. 2 weeks later. The storm has made landfall. For 2 days after the post, Sarah treated me with confused disdain. She knew I was angry, but couldn't grasp the scale of it. In her mind, her post was her truth. My one-word comment was a gross overreaction. The process server arrived Friday afternoon. My security camera alerted me at work. I watched the live feed. A man hands a thick envelope to Sarah. I watched her open it, her face going from puzzled to white with disbelief, then to a mottled red of pure rage. My phone immediately blew up. Sarah, a legal separation? Are you insane? You're doing this over a Facebook post? You are a pathetic, controlling monster. I will take you for everything. Pick up the phone, you coward. I screenshotted them all and sent them to Leo. His reply, perfect, keep ignoring her. The explosion happened Saturday. I came home to find her in the living room with her friend Jenna, who was perched on the sofa like a vulture. In the center of the room stood Interdependence, the 7-foot-tall bronze and steel sculpture I made for our 5th anniversary. She calls it My Vision on Instagram. There he is, Jenna sneered. Come to admire the damage? You have a lot of nerve showing your face here, Sarah said, arms crossed. This is my house, Sarah, I said calmly. For now, she spat. My lawyer says this is a joke. He'll have it thrown out. Okay, I said, getting a water from the fridge. My calm infuriated her. Okay? That's all you have to say? You blow up our lives and you say okay? You're the one who announced I was too weak for your world, I replied. I'm just agreeing and making the arrangements. I was expressing a feeling. It wasn't about you specifically, she lied. Jenna nodded vigorously. The first real consequence hit about an hour later. I heard her on the phone in the kitchen. I just can't stay here. He's impossible. Let's go. We'll check into the Grandmont, get massages, strategize. Put it on the card, she said. A pause. What do you mean declined? Try it again. No, that's not possible. There's no limit on that card. I heard her stomp into her office, get on the phone with customer service. Her voice went from entitled to frustrated to panicked. What do you mean the primary account holder removed me? No, he wouldn't have. This is my card. The office door flew open. Her face was a mask of fury. You canceled my credit card, she said, her voice low. I removed you as an authorized user on my account, I clarified. As per the terms of our prenuptial agreement, which is now active. The prenup? She whispered. It's a legal document. The filing triggered the status quo clause. Informal financial support has ceased. It's in the papers your lawyer has. I can't buy anything, she stammered, the reality hitting her like a physical blow. My fuel card, the money you transfer, all connected to my finances, all separate property, I said. You have your own bank account. That account had less than $1,000 in it. Jenna appeared behind her. He's trying to control you by cutting you off. This is financial abuse. No, I said. This is a legal consequence. She declared her independence. I'm just letting her have it. The social media campaign began that night from Jenna's couch. Long, tearful Instagram stories about being financially terrorized by a narcissistic partner. Posts about how weak men use money to control strong women. Her followers ate it up. I was a monster. The worst was a post the next day. A selfie of her and Jenna drinking wine. In the background, in a framed photo on the wall, you could see our living room with Interdependence standing proudly. Her caption, sometimes you have to burn down the old to build something new and beautiful. Stronger together, rebuilding my empire. Rebuilding her empire using a prop I built to symbolize our life together. The irony was suffocating. I screenshotted it and sent it to Leo. His reply, good, let her keep talking. Update 2. The last month has been a slog. She was advised not to leave the house, so we coexisted like hostile nations. The strong woman, apparently, was too strong to do her own laundry. The first attack came from her father, Arthur. Old money, zero consequences. Mark, he began on the phone, his voice dripping with condescension. Time for a chat, man to man. This is a legal matter, Arthur. Talk to my lawyer. Don't hide behind your legal Rottweiler, son, he chuckled. A gentleman's agreement supersedes these things. You've cut her off. It's a bad look, Mark. The only look I care about is the one she posted on Facebook. Artistic license, my boy. Her brand. You can't take it so personally. Turn her cards back on. A woman has needs. The court will decide what she needs, I said. His tone shifted. You are making a very powerful enemy. You will not like how this plays out. Do the right thing. He hung up. The next day, 2 inspectors from the state's Workplace Safety Board showed up at my shop. An anonymous tip alleged multiple specific violations. It was a vicious, calculated attack aimed at my livelihood. A failed inspection could mean thousands in fines and weeks of shutdown. For 6 hours, they went over everything. My crew was tense. I was furious, but I kept my cool. We run a tight ship. We passed. Clean sheet. The lead inspector apologized for wasting our day. The anonymous tip was Detailed, he said. I knew exactly who it came from. Leo logged it as harassment. Then Sarah made her play for the sculpture. I came home to a moving truck in the driveway. Sarah was directing two movers on the porch, pointing at interdependence. It needs to be wrapped carefully, she was saying. It's a very delicate, very valuable piece. I parked my truck, blocking them in. What's going on here? Sarah jumped. Mark, I'm just getting some of my things. That sculpture is not your thing. It most certainly is, she declared. It was a gift, and it's my intellectual property. It was my vision. The delusion was breathtaking. I had the sketches, the CAD files, the receipts for every ounce of metal. You're not taking it, Sarah, I said. To the movers, I said, you can leave. Misunderstanding. You can't tell them what to do, she shrieked. I hired them. And how are you planning on paying them? I asked quietly. Her face fell. The color drained from her cheeks. The movers looked at each other and retreated to their truck. The confrontation was ugly. She screamed, she cried, she called me a thief. She said I was sabotaging a brand collaboration that required the sculpture. The strong woman was having a meltdown on her front lawn. That was the last straw. I called Leo from my truck. I want her out. File for exclusive use of the home, and I want that sculpture's ownership legally clarified. Already on it, Leo said. Now gather every document you have on that piece. Sketches, receipts, photos. We're getting it professionally appraised. Why? Because, Leo said, a hint of satisfaction in his voice, the more that sculpture is worth as your separate property, the less there is in the marital pot for her to claim a piece of. We're going to use her own greed against her. The game had changed. This wasn't about feelings anymore. It was about evidence, contracts, and consequences. And I had all the receipts. Final update. 7 months later, the divorce is final. The house is quiet, it's peaceful. The last few months were a legal grind. Her lawyer tried to have the prenup thrown out for duress. Leo countered with the invoice from the top-tier firm she'd hired to review it 8 years ago. The judge was not impressed. The anonymous tip and the online smear campaign were presented as a pattern of harassment. The judge granted me exclusive use of the home after the moving van incident. Sarah was forced to move in with Jenna, a situation that apparently imploded within weeks. The final act took place in a sterile mediation room. Sarah looked tired and angry. The boss babe veneer was gone. Her father sat beside her, radiating hostility. Her lawyer made a final, desperate plea for a massive settlement, citing emotional toll and sacrificed career opportunities. Leo let him finish. Then he calmly laid out our case. He started with the professional appraisal for interdependence, $75,000. He followed with the mountain of evidence, sketches predating our relationship, receipts, a time-lapse video of its construction. As you can see, Leo stated, the sculpture is the sole separate property of my client. Its value is not a marital asset. He then delivered the checkmate. The total marital pot is X. A 50-50 split is Y. However, any attempt to classify the sculpture as marital would mean its $75,000 value is added to Mr. Mark's side of the ledger, drastically reducing his claim on any other liquid assets to balance the scales. By trying to claim it, Ms. Serafina was inadvertently arguing to reduce her own cash payout from the home sale. Silence. Sarah stared at the spreadsheet, her own greed staring back at her. She had tried to steal the most valuable object, and in doing so, had legally torpedoed her own settlement. Her father stood up so fast his chair screeched. This is an outrage. It's just math, Mr. Harrington, Leo said calmly. The final settlement was brutal. The prenup was upheld. My business and trust were untouchable. No alimony. She was entitled to 50% of the home equity, minus some legal fees she was ordered to cover. It was enough to live on for maybe a year, if she was frugal. She wasn't. She stared at me across the table, her eyes full of hatred. I gave you the best years of my life, she whispered. No, Sarah, I said. You gave them to your followers. You built a brand, not a marriage. I was just the investor. The investment has been terminated. I sold the house and the sculpture. I couldn't stand to look at it. From what I hear, Sarah's life unraveled. Jenna kicked her out. She moved in with her parents. Her social media devolved into a bitter stream of complaints and pleas for donations to her legal fund. Her followers abandoned the bitter victim. The brands dropped her. The empire was a ruin. The last I heard, she was working as a hostess at a restaurant her father has a stake in. I don't feel joy at her downfall. I feel a quiet, steely satisfaction that the consequences were a direct result of her own actions. She wanted to be a strong, independent woman. She now is. She wanted me out of her world. I am. The other night, I saw a photo of her in the background of a friend's post. No filter, no caption, no brand, just a person in a room. I felt nothing, and that was the ultimate victory. I was finally completely free.